What can you do to increase your income? Is there anything that you have as far as being more resourceful, as far as existing assets, as far as things that you can do? What are your skill sets? What can you do to go out there to increase your income? It isn't just about hustle and hard work. It's about looking more intelligently at what you can deliver to the world. So I'm thinking about Demi on our team. You know, she just rented out one of her rooms, right, in her house, got enough cash flow from that she eventually got a property, and then she rented that out on Airbnb. Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. Garrett Gunderson here, financial advocate, New York Times bestseller, one of the money nerds. I've got a whole team of money nerds answering questions because we got a variety of questions. Like today, we got everything from where to go get financing to what else we got, Stola?
We have a question about if I should buy a house, but it's in direct relation to how much debt she has.
They have, yeah. So I got some good information we're going to give on that.
Yeah, and the other one is around savings account. Like, what should I do?
Awesome.
So we have a wide gamut of questions. We're going to have some answers.
Let's do this.
Okay, we're going to dive in about the loans. A couple of them have come in. You know, I think people are wondering, do I go with a credit union? Do I go with a big bank? Where do I go to, find these loans? So a couple of questions. Right. Who is the best company or bank to get a mortgage from as a first home buyer? Okay. And then the other one is, what is the best company to refinance my car loan?
Okay, so on getting a loan, like look at FHA loans. That could be, something that could be really useful. You can talk to mortgage brokers. You don't just have to go to the bank that you're at. I would give your bank a shot, like what can they do for you, and get a hold of a mortgage broker. James at lendbase.com for business owners. He does stuff, and if you're a non-business owner, he could maybe make a referral for you. Because it's such a huge variety. Like, I did an immersion where I met with someone and they had a specific credit union that financed wineries, and they were on a winery. So like they're just butting their head against a wall trying to figure out what to do. And then they find the one that they're really good at that. When I bought my mom a car years ago, and there was a credit union that just had the best deals, and they were advertising everywhere. And I went to my credit union, they couldn't match it. So I opened up an account and put just the minimum amount of money you needed. And I went and financed that car because it was such cheap money. So credit unions I've seen really good with car loans, but I think the most important thing is you build a relationship with a bank. Get to know someone, get to know the managers. That's what we've done. My controller knows the managers really well so that we can make phone calls and we can get, what can you guys do, or how does this work, or can you match this? So, and if you wealthier you actually get portfolio banks, which is really nice because it's super easy. But just start out with building a relationship, find a mortgage broker, look at it, find a credit union for specific types of loans, and then just compare that to where you're currently banking.
Yeah, take the time to do the research.
Yeah, it's not going to take a ton of time. It's a few phone calls,
Okay, so next one, here we go. What do we do with the money in our savings account? So good sign they do have money in savings.
It's
awesome. Should we invest it? Should we move it to a certain type of account? What's the best option for making the most of that money?
Okay, I like to see 1 month of savings of like what you need for your just basic income on your personal side inside of a safe. Because if you ever have identity theft, an IRS issue, there's things where you could have your bank accounts frozen, or if we go way back to the 80s, there was a savings and loan debacle where it took people up to 3 years to get their money back from the credit unions. So I think just having 1 month, just in case there's some crazy thing that happens, right? And it could be a natural disaster. And now you get access to cash where credit card machines aren't working and you just need to get the hell out of Dodge. So the second thing is, it's not a bad idea to have a little bit of physical silver and physical gold that you keep in your safe as part of that savings as well, because it's just a hedge, because those are going to move a little bit different than cash. The third thing, though, is I like to have some just at the bank because it's easier for transaction and it's seasoned money. So if you want to get money in, you want to take money out, it's going to be very convenient. After you've got 3 months total amongst those three things, some might be in your safe, some might be in your bank. I like to look at something called cash flow banking, which is overfunded cash value life insurance. Now, it's going to lose out to a savings account in the first 15 months, 18 months, maybe even 2 years, because there's a cost to the insurance. But after a certain amount of time, you'll have more cash value there with guarantees and no tax versus the taxable amount you have in a savings account. So cashflowbanking.com would be a great place to go and research that and learn a little bit more. But that's where I store the majority of my cash, because if it's, it might be earning 5%, but I'm not paying tax on it, so how much would I have to earn in a taxable account that might be volatile going up and down? I like to keep it more stable and secure like my savings account, and then when there's a good investment opportunity, I could always get access to that cash. I'm not tying it up like in a retirement plan until 59 and a half.
I think that's a good answer for them. This next one is coming in from Tim, and I think it's a really brave question, so I'm going to give you some background information.
Okay, great.
He says, I have $31,000 in debt, $15,000 of that being his car. His total monthly payments are $2,046. This does not include food, gas, utilities, and some basic, living expenses. My total monthly income bring home is $2,100 per month. I have not had a late payment in over 6 years. I have one collection account due to a bad roommate experience. I'm at like 99% utilization. I work so hard not to be late, but I'm treading water. I can't qualify for personal consolidation loans because my utilization is driving my score down. I have heard that debt consolidation services can do long-term damage, and I would like to buy a house. Any suggestions? There's a lot there.
Yeah, buying a house definitely down the road on, not right now, because you've got a pretty big car payment. So I'm going to give a few suggestions outside the box, and then we'll just give like some additional pieces. Okay. Do you have any family members that would be willing to lend you money and stretch the time frame out? Because the car loan's probably really short time that he's having to make these payments. So it's a pretty high payment on it, right? So $31,000 of loans are taking $2,000 a month toll on him. So in reality, this should be paid off in a year and a half, depending on the interest rates. But what if you could get a loan for 3 years or 5 years, massively decrease the amount? And here's the deal. Anyone that's willing to give the loan, there's still car that's collateral, is showing a really good sign here that you're able to make payments. You'll then be able to improve your credit score, right? So if you can get this loan from someone in what I would call an intra-family loan, you can pay them a higher interest rate than they're earning at the bank right now. So they win that way. Once that's paid off, you should see your debt to income massively decrease, which is for every dollar you earn, you're basically paying out 99 cents towards loans. So that debt to income is preventing him from being able to have the depth to go get another loan. Once he gets someone else to pay that off, he can go refinance everything at that point and then pay them back with better terms. And all of a sudden not have these really tough terms where he can't go get a refinance. So if you can get someone that will give either a bridge loan, right, which is short term, or even a long-term loan, that could then free this up, give you a much better situation, but you got to start saving money. I mean, I don't even know how you're making it on $100 a month. You're definitely in the grind. You're definitely in the treadmill. So here's my second piece of advice. It's time to increase your income. What can you do to increase your income? Is there anything that you have as far as being more resourceful, as far as existing assets, as far as things that you can do? What are your skill sets? What can you do to go out there to increase your income? It isn't just about hustle and hard work. It's about looking more intelligently at what you can deliver to the world. So I'm thinking about Demi on our team. She just rented out one of her rooms, right, in her house, got enough cash flow from that she eventually got a property, and then she rented that out on Airbnb. That's an example. Or Dale Clark that just spent an extra 20 hours a week going out there and researching real estate until he could find ones that cash flowed from day one, and within a year, he replaced his income. Like, you just got to think of ways to be more resourceful. And if you could be resourceful and then take that and turn it into cash flow, invest it back in yourself. See, if you could free up cash flow here by getting anyone to give a loan here, right? $31,000 loan is not a massive loan. There's a car that you get attached to it. There's other things that you could do to protect them so that they could get their money, but then free up that money to start investing in your skill set, start putting money back in your life. And instead of just scrambling and try to earn enough just to get by, actually start being able to expand your means, start to earn more money. And that is really going to be the game changer here. But I get it. Like, at this point, there's just not enough money to do that. So there's got to be a different level of thinking here.
Would you ever, like, if we're looking at $15,000 being in his car, would you ever say sell the car, get a cheaper one? I know you're really focused on abundance mindset, right?
Yeah, look
creating
at the app
more
Turo.
value.
Is it something that he could rent his car out to start cash flowing it? Right? Or could he, I'm not sure where he lives, but could he get a roommate and rent it out through an Airbnb sequence or something to start creating cash flow, even if it was you're sleeping on the couch while someone else is in the room, until you turn around, because this is just a pretty dire situation to only have $100 a month to live on. And if all of a sudden we can create cash flow through Airbnb and Turo, or get that, that loan from someone so that can really free up these payments and build that cash flow, and then just start thinking in a production mindset, because right now this is survival. And so you're right, it's a brave question. There are solutions. I think this gives a whole different perspective on what's possible.
Yeah.
All right. So this is about turning your thoughts into profits. We've gone over things like how to, start building relationships with banks and credit unions and even mortgage brokers, so that you have those options that are out there and available, to how you can handle different loans and even look at an intra-family loan. I'll tell a story about, I have a friend that I went to college with who's my roommate. And when he went to get his first home, his parents financed the home. It doubled the interest rate that they were getting on their money, and they had the collateral of the home, plus they got to see their son get into a home. And it lowered the interest rate for him because he was a business owner that had volatile income. So it was really difficult for him to get. So it was very much a win-win situation. And this is what we encourage people to do, is you eventually want to have your own banking system where you've got your own, cash flow banking policy, and you can finance things and earn the interest that you'd be paying on otherwise, or that you have a lot more control, or it doesn't harm your credit score. So the most important thing for today is you got to invest in yourself. You've got to figure out your skill set so that you can make more money by adding more value to the world. And when you do that, you're going to build the life you love.